What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Friday. Glad to have everybody along. The Tennessee Titans teased us yesterday afternoon with a brand new major announcement regarding the new stadium. That's what they sent in our email inboxes in that press release. And so, Sam, you'll be putting some pants on, a nice sweater maybe, and heading over to Nissan Stadium for a formal press conference later on this morning. That is at 10 o'clock Central Time on this Friday. So we are going to be very interested to see what this is going to be. We'll discuss it, why this is the perfect time for the Tennessee Titans to make this stadium announcement, and our prediction hats. What is this going to be about? I have two ideas based on history. I have been at a stadium press conference for one of my two ideas in the past. I don't know if it's going to be that, but we're going to try to do our best to predict what the major stadium announcement is going to be here, Sam. So I'm excited about this. And then we'll talk about some injury updates. We got a BetMGM pick to make. Sam, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, I have an idea as well that I haven't really been able to shake from my mind as feeling like this is the direction that it's going. I'm interested. I didn't know you had a history with something like this, so I'm interested in seeing where.
I've been around for a bit, Sam. This is year 11. This is year 11 for me,
but I'm trying to
covering
figure
this
out
Titans
what sort of stadium announcement would have happened in the last 11 years. I don't know. I'm excited to hear your story about what you potentially feel like this could be here. A big show today. Obviously, vibes around the football team are up and down within this fan base right now. But I feel like today's going to be an up day, Austin. I've got good feeling about the stadium announcement, about some of the conversations that we're going to have. There's some good stuff to talk about, whether it's the injuries. I've got a theory as well about this offensive line and exactly what it's going to look like on game day. So stick around for that after we talk about the stadium if you want some of that. And while we're doing all of this, make sure you share the show. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the share button. If you're watching on YouTube, take the YouTube link, send it to a friend, send it in a group chat. You can repost this on X. Get the word out there. A to Z Sports is live, and they're talking Titans Stadium news here. So if you want to get your 2 cents in, make sure you join the conversation. Share the show before we go here on a great Friday morning.
Yep, let's get it going officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Sam Thalen, our Titans reporter for A to Z Sports.com, and we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline, and also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. We got to thank our sponsors because they make everything happen for us, and they help you guys as well. Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to go to make them a part of your new car buying process, or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans at fbhp.com/ATOZ. The Aura app, protecting your information online, and get a 2-week free trial with our link, aura.com/ATOZ. And our friends at Krebs Kubota, an elite Kubota dealer with 3 great locations in the Nashville mid-state area: Columbia, Franklin, and Murfreesboro. Their website is krebskubota.com. There are already comments flying in here predicting what's going to be the new stadium. Fox says Hellman Stadium in honor of Will Levis and the Mayo. But no, we will discuss, Sam, the predictions on what this new stadium is going to be. But we do want to go ahead and let you guys know, just a heads up on today's roadmap of the show. We will talk about the stadium announcement. We will have good news. We will have a bet that I think is the easiest thing to cash at BetMGM for Titans Jags. And then, Sam, you have a theory on the starting offensive line for this Titans Jags game. And I have a question about a current Titans injury that I just want to get your perspective in from being at the facility the last couple of weeks. But yesterday afternoon, the Tennessee Titans sent out this press release. The Tennessee Titans will make an exciting announcement regarding the new stadium during a press conference at 10 a.m. Central on Friday, November 17th, 2023. Media are invited to attend? Is it media is or media are invited to
Media
attend? I think I could
media
say go. I,
media
I could say
are.
being both.
Media
The
are.
media
Yeah, it's
is.
one of those weird ones that would be media
Yeah.
are.
If it was the media, it would be is, but media are. So one of those goofy ones. You're right. But so Sam, that was yesterday afternoon. I'm guessing you were at the facility at St. Thomas Sports Park for the practice festivities on a Thursday. What was the immediate reaction from media who was at the facility yesterday?
Well, it was kind of weird, right? We get emails a lot about the new stadium, and certain things that the Titans have going on the business side of things, and usually it's just like sort of a development. I don't want to call it like a nothing burger or something like that, but you're just kind of like, okay, yeah, let me know when you've got something like for real
Major.
that's gonna fire, yeah, major that's gonna fire up this fan base. So I got the email, I kind of didn't like look at it, and then I looked down again while we're sitting on this sideline of the practice field, and I see major stadium announcement, and I was like, "Huh." And so I leaned over to Teron Davenport next to me, and I was like, "Hey, did you see this email? Like, what are we thinking here?" And yeah, it got us buzzing. So we all kind of had our different theories. I've got kind of my own hopeful theory. I'm like, at this point, if you're gonna make an announcement and put it out there that it's a major stadium announcement, Austin, it also said in there that the press conference would start with a presentation, which would then be opened up to multiple speakers taking questions. It feels like a big deal. And so I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
this needs to be a little bit bigger deal. Like there were some theories floated out there, like, oh, maybe it's a
Well,
groundbreaking
let,
date.
let, let, let's
Well,
let's let's hold the
we can.
predictions. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't tell you what I think it is, but it was
Okay.
very clear, right? Like, all right, this is more than just like another one of these slight developments that has happened to the Titan Stadium. Like, we've got something like of
Yes.
substance here.
Yes. Again, I think there are some interesting things about this. One is exciting announcement, right? Exciting, positive. And the other is the fact that they called it a major announcement regarding the new stadium. And Sam, I think this is perfect timing for the Tennessee Titans on this.
Yeah, well, I got a real quick question too. Anthony says,
Okay.
"Is this really the topic today?" I feel like this.
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm a Titans fan right now, I'm pumped about this topic. Like, your football team is making you miserable right now. Uh, like I feel like some sort of a distraction from what's going on the football field, and being able to talk about something that potentially is really exciting in the future. That's what you need sometimes as a fan. Sometimes you just need like a little like a little break from the headache that is the roster, and you're like, oh yeah, we can look forward to this new stadium and imagine what that would be like. And like you said, yeah, great timing on the Titans part.
It's the perfect timing because the one word they used in that press release was exciting announcement. Sam, I would like for you to list what is exciting about this Titans football team Sunday against the Jaguars. What is exciting you about this football game coming up in about 2 days from now on the field? Is there anything exciting that comes to your mind?
I mean, I think as a football fan, you're always excited to watch a young quarterback perform when you feel like that young quarterback could be your guy. Like if you have a young QB that you're like, all right, this is the future of the franchise, regardless of your record, each and every week you can like turn on the game, sit down and be like, I have a reason to watch 4 quarters today. And even if we're down 2 scores, I have a reason to keep watching, because whatever QB1
Yes.
does today affects the future of my favorite team. So that is the exciting thing. But beyond Will Levis, nothing's gonna get you going right now.
Somebody
Now,
says I
go
see
ahead.
somebody saying Tajay Spears. Darren says Tajay Spears is exciting. I mean, yeah, Tajay Spears can be
He gets
exciting,
what, like
but for like what,
three
40,
exciting touches a game? Like,
40 total yards or something, like
right.
again, that's where we're kind of at in this season is that and I see Denise says Dillard out for Sunday. That's good news. Well, we're still
Sure. That's
waiting for
exciting.
good news later in the show. But I do think the perfect timing for this is nothing is exciting with this football team right now. The shine has worn off from Halloween weekend of Will Levis's first start. Next week is Thanksgiving. And so Halloween feels like ages ago. You've already put the Halloween stuff away, and now you skipped over Thanksgiving decorations. You get the Christmas stuff out. That's how far away the Will Levis 4-touchdown debut
Also,
was ago.
I
And
did. Well, real quick, just to your point, like I was doing research for a separate an article yesterday afternoon. Since Mike Vrabel took over as the head coach, the fewest number of wins the Titans have had through 10 weeks of an NFL season is 5. They have 3 right now. So it's not just the worst season of Mike Vrabel's tenure. It is substantially the worst season. And it's the only time, and you and I have talked about this in the past, this is the only season since Mike Vrabel has been here that this team is just out of playoff contention come November and December. Like you are going to hit Thanksgiving with the Titans as a complete afterthought in the AFC playoff picture. Week over week, I guess there is a world in which that slightly changes, right? Like, you know, what happens if you beat the Jags and you get to 4-6 with a division win and then you play Carolina? There is some sort of like excitement that starts to creep back in and some hope that starts to creep back in. But realistically, this team is building for 2024 and looking for positive flashes for 2024 right now. And there's not a ton to hang your hat on.
right. So there's not a lot to hang your hat on. And also, what is today's date, Sam?
November 17th. And I forgot I scheduled a tweet for today, actually, that went out, and I completely forgot that. I scheduled it 3 days ago, and I forgot that you brought up the date. It's already out there public. It's been a calendar year since the Tennessee Titans won a road game.
That's right.
Claps
And
for the
tomorrow
Titans.
morning, and roughly 2:17 a.m. Saturday will be 1 year from the DUI that Todd Downing had that the Titans have not won on the road since. So there's a lot of, irony in what is going on today with this Titans stadium announcement. So it is a good timing. So positive, exciting announcement for the Tennessee Titans. Exciting, major, multiple speakers. Is there going to be food? I don't know, but it seems like it's going to be a big positive vibe.
I feel like I might need to put my suit on. They're making it sound all like super fancy here, man.
They're absolutely talking it up. So Sam, let's officially do it. Let's give our predictions for this stadium announcement. What is your prediction for the Titans' major new stadium announcement this morning? I've got 2 ideas. I'm going to roll them out one by one, but 2 ideas for this. So what is your official prediction for the Titans' major stadium announcement? But first, I got to tell you guys all about our friends at Krebs Kubota. Krebs Kubota is where you should turn for all of your equipment needs in Middle Tennessee. They have 3 amazing locations: Columbia, Franklin, Murfreesboro. KrebsKubota.com is their website. It's a phenomenal website. You can see everything they have to offer there. They have all of the best equipment in the industry because they are an elite Kubota dealer, which means they have the best equipment, the best resources, and the best warranties when it comes to the Kubota line of equipment. And so you can get anything you need at KrebsKubota.com, or if you need to rent something for a weekend project, they can help you out there. The holidays are approaching. Will be really nice to get that somebody who's in charge of the projects around your home, a piece of new equipment with a big red bow on it this holiday season. KrebsKubota.com.
Today's show is powered by BetMGM. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with BetMGM and get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's the best way to do sports betting with the king of sportsbooks and with a bonus code that can get you a second chance to win big. Whatever that dollar amount is, up to $1,500, it goes back into your account in the form of a bonus bet, and you can win big for a second time. Use that bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with BetMGM and BetMGM.com.
All right, so Sam, I'm going to have you roll through the chat. What's your prediction, for the Titans' major new stadium announcement this morning? Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you haven't done it yet, like the show. We're slacking.
We're missing
when it
so
comes
many
to Facebook.
likes.
Facebook likes are slacking today. YouTube,
Yeah.
I'm sure, is a little bit ahead of the game because typically the YouTube people, they have gotten way better at liking the show before we even go live. So we need more Facebook likes as well.
Yeah, there's a little rivalry that I've noticed that goes on between the YouTube viewers and the Facebook viewers of people, wanting to pop over. So like, I think we need to create a rivalry of which group is going to generate more likes on every show, right? Like we're going to see
Yeah,
which collective group is smashing that like button a little bit more. I mean, that's how you can prove that you're the best group of listeners. So, I mean,
that's right.
it's my opinion.
All
What
right.
is your prediction for the Titans' major new stadium announcement? The chat was all over it. So, for Edward, who says, "Oh, boring show today," chat was all over it. And Edward, we got injury stuff coming up later. I saw a couple questions about the O-line. That's coming up later in the show. Don't worry, just hang tight, buddy. Uh, Mike Nolan says a Super Bowl date. A Super Bowl date for the new stadium is what Mike Nolan says. We have heard that the Titans' new stadium is going to host a Super Bowl and that the NFL has, agreed to do that, but there has been no actual plan. So he thinks that's what's coming. Scott says that it will open in 2027, which has kind of already been sort of announced and floated, but potentially a firm opening date from Scott here. We've got changing the name to the Coliseum. Jeff says they will announce when they're breaking ground or the naming rights. We've
Let's go
got
back to the
official.
Coliseum. Let's go back to the Coliseum thing for a second, because I know our friends Austin Huff and Jack Gentry of the Tighten Up podcast, they've been calling it Nissan Coliseum since they debuted their podcast 3.5+ years ago. And so, Sam, you're a Chicagoland guy. You've been in Nashville for just a
Why
few
is it the
years.
Coliseum? It looks,
The initial stadium was named Adelphia. That was the brand that had the
right.
rights. It was the Adelphia Coliseum because the Titans
It goes
are
hard.
the Greek gods, right? And
Yeah.
so the Coliseum was the initial name, and that place rocked. It was loud. I think the Titans started around 16-0 in that stadium before they lost a game. I think it was like into regular season number 3
Was it the
before they
same
lost the
building?
home game. Same building, dude. Same building. 1999 and
And you told me
2000.
that one was loud?
It was so loud. It was the beautiful combination of a college football city that was acting like college football fans in an NFL environment. And it was bonkers. It was the toughest place to play. You had the 6-0 future Super Bowl champion Rams come to the Adelphia Coliseum on Halloween weekend. Kurt Warner got sacked like 8 times, and then drive killer Fred Miller, had about 5 false starts that day because of how loud this place was, and the Titans beat the Rams. So it was so loud, and the Coliseum rocked. But then they took away the Coliseum once Adelphia went bankrupt. They lost the naming rights. Then it was just the Coliseum. Then LP came into play, and that's when LP Field happened, which was before Nissan Stadium.
Well,
There's your history lesson.
I'm one thing I'm very excited about with the new stadium is the indoor environment of it, and hopefully Tennessee being a difficult place to play, and just kind of oh gosh, we had
This is the best comment Mr. Jones has had in months. Drive killer Dillard.
Yeah. I'm excited to like, I mean, you hear all these games the Titans are going to play in Pittsburgh and Kansas City and all these spots where you're just like, oh, that's a difficult place to play. I don't think anybody says that about Nissan Stadium right now, but I'm excited to get a little bit of an indoor environment and let Titans fans make some noise and see, if Tennessee can become one of those destinations that you're like, yeah, you don't want to go play those, pesky Titans on the road. That's a difficult place to play. That'd be fun, but we'll see. Let's see. We got, like I said, Jeff said groundbreaking date or naming rights. Titans Kyle said it's the groundbreaking date release. Hosting draft and or a Super Bowl from Gene. The name of the stadium from Jabu. Mike thinks it's going to be A to Z Sports Stadium, so potentially
Somebody
Austin
commented that earlier in the show. Let's see. It was Kyle saying announcement the new Titan Stadium will be A to Z Sports Nashville Coliseum. And we're not there yet. I mean, I do have dreams of envisioning the A to Z Sports name across a stadium one of these days, but we're not quite there yet. So yeah, Kyle and Mike, appreciate it.
Don't got $100 million sitting around.
That's not even going to do it.
Yeah, no, I don't
That's not even going to do it.
Let's see. We got Bork says the name sponsor for it. Brock thinks the new stadium's been traded to Philly for a 2027 third-round pick,
Yep.
which is what his
That joke
expected amount.
that
It's a
that
good
joke ran
joke.
pretty fast yesterday. Rich also had trading the stadium to the Eagles. Yeah, there was a lot of that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a great one. So, I mean, Austin, you teased me at the beginning of the show saying that you had
Yeah.
two things that like precedent would suggest that this could be for you. So, what are those things, and what have you been to a press conference for in the past?
Well, one of the things I've been to a press conference for, but of my two guesses and predictions of what I think this is going to be is the groundbreaking date. I believe that's one possibility for what this major announcement could be is the groundbreaking date. But I don't think that's what it's going to be. I feel like that would be if you want to hype up an exciting major announcement, there's multiple speakers, there is a massive letdown. If you're like, yeah, we're going to break ground on August 27th,
I
2024,
totally
right?
agree, and this is part of that conversation that I was having with the media core yesterday. I think Teresa Walker suggested, oh, maybe it's a groundbreaking date. Like there, that would make sense for like where they are in their timeline to announce that. And I'm like, yeah, but
Yeah.
exciting news about the new stadium. You gather a press conference, you do a presentation, and then you're like, we are breaking ground next month.
Okay.
So, okay,
Yeah.
good for you. Let me know when it's done. Let me know, like,
Now that's Sam. That would feel like clickbait, right? Like that would be a clickbait version of a press conference.
right. We're doing a
Don't
press
you think?
conference to announce the fact that the stadium is happening, which we've already known is that it was happening. I don't know. That just wouldn't be, I agree with you, would be a huge, huge, huge letdown given how much you've hyped up the announcement here.
Yes. Um, yeah, Ryan says, guess you got only buy super chats to get your comments read. No, sorry, Ryan. I'm not trying to dismiss
Depends
your
what the comment
comments,
is.
but
I mean,
yeah, it depends on what the comments. If it's relevant to the show, then we will read it. So, but my other prediction that I have been to a press conference for is the naming rights of the stadium. I was able to go to the official naming rights for Nissan when they announced that in whatever year that was. I want to say it was around like 2015, something
oh,
like
I didn't
that.
realize it was that recently.
Yeah, Nissan Stadium. Zach and I were able to go to that and cover that. When I think that I can't remember what year it was, but Nissan Stadium, that press conference, and that felt like a big deal, right? Because there's money involved. And so why my official prediction is going to be that is the naming rights for said stadium is there's two ways the Titans could go about it. They could wait and make the naming rights be a bidding war and wait for a long time and let that price for the naming rights drive up in a bidding war. But if you get the naming rights done now, that's cash you can get now to help fund the build of the stadium even further. So, I've always talked about this stadium. I think there could be a point where the stadium cash takes away or could potentially mess with the football player cash when it comes to long-term contracts and guaranteed and cash on hand needed for that. And so if you could do something like the naming rights for the stadium, I think that's a way to have some extra cash flow come in for the potential groundbreaking and therefore the construction of the stadium. So that's where my official prediction, Sam, is naming rights. We will know this morning later on at 10 a.m. Central Time after said presentation what the stadium will be called. That's my prediction.
I agree. I think this is the naming rights. It's the only thing that I think would be ready to announce at this point in the timeline, and also I think makes sense to gas up at this level. So I believe this is going to be a naming rights announcement, and I'm curious, Austin. Is it Nate? Is it Nissan Stadium still? Like, does it, yeah, I mean, when they first announced the new stadium, Burke Nihill and all of the front office folks over with the Titans said, well, Nissan is certainly going to, be a priority as far as naming rights are concerned, and will have an opportunity to retain the naming rights. So, is Nissan back on top? And I'm interested in seeing. I don't know if the chat has any ideas. What is a
So
Nashville-based company, or just a company that has a big presence here in Nashville, that people would be like interested in seeing if they get their name on the stadium? I love speculating about naming rights. It's
yeah.
like one of my
So
it's fun.
there is one wrinkle to this that I don't know. So I'm gonna get to that wrinkle here in a second, about what the naming rights could be. Hey, this could be an option. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Our friends over at Farm Bureau Health Plans, they've been serving Tennesseans for 75 plus years, and they can help you out with your health plan of any kind, whatever your life situation is. Farm Bureau Health Plans can help specialize that plan for you, your family, your growing family, your empty nested family. Farm Bureau Health Plans is there for you to make it easy. If you haven't signed up yet, if you don't remember how much you're paying for your health coverage and you don't really know if you have good health coverage, go to fbhp.com/ATOZ, start the health assessment process. You can walk into any one of their 200 plus locations across the entire state. Again, go to the website, fbhp.com/ATOZ, and start your process to a better health plan today with Farm Bureau Health Plans.
Listen, that'd be an excellent name for a stadium, Farm Bureau Health Plan Stadium, because you could nickname it the Barn, you could nickname it the Farm, and that would crush. I love a
Be a
stadium with a
really
good.
nice barn.
I'd love a stadium with a good nickname like that. So hey, who knows? Today's show also powered by BetMGM. They're the king of sportsbooks. You can use the bonus code ATOZ Sports to sign up with BetMGM and get $1,500 back in bonus bets depending on your first bet. It's a good first bet offer where no matter what that dollar amount is, up to $1,500, that money can go back into your account in the form of a bonus bet if your first bet doesn't win, and get a second chance to win big. Use that bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with BetMGM and BetMGM.com.
All right. So one wrinkle to what Sam and I are both thinking. We both believe that the announcement today will be for the naming rights to the new stadium. So I was correct in my year. It was in June of 2015 is when Nissan became the naming rights partner for the current stadium. And I thought I was correct in this because I had the year 2034 in my head, which would be a 20-year naming rights contract for Nissan and the Titan Stadium. So that is correct. It was a 20-year deal for the naming rights. And at that time, I remember Zach and I having this conversation. The stadium lease ended in 2028, which we knew was, there was going to be a new stadium involved somewhere along these lines. And so now that there's a new stadium, our assumption at the time was that Nissan, with the contract that runs through 2034, would probably have first right of refusal for the naming rights of the new stadium. I do not remember anything mentioned at that press conference or any reporting after the fact of saying that, yeah, if they build a new stadium, which was the conversations were already beginning about new stadium during that time. There was nothing really concrete about Nissan getting the rights to transfer to the new stadium. Just like a lot of you guys who paid and bought PSLs back in the late 90s for the current stadium, that doesn't matter. Like, you're going to have to buy new PSLs for the new stadium because those PSLs that you bought for life was not for your life. It was for the life of the stadium, and the life of the stadium is the ending, and so you have to buy a new stadium. So I don't know what that wrinkle does for Nissan and for these naming rights.
I'm curious too, just from like, in your opinion, if this is like, would they have an announcement of this magnitude for, here's our exciting new announcement. New stadium is going to be called Nissan Stadium. Would that be would that be something
Yeah,
that they do? That feels also underwhelming as heck, but
like the groundbreaking thing, right?
right. I mean, so your big announcement was that nothing is changing. I don't know, right? I don't know what they, I don't know what the precedent would be for that. So I'm not sure.
But also, how weird would it be if it was a different company, and then you would have to continue to play in 2024, 2025, and 2026 with a lame duck stadium and partner in Nissan. Wouldn't that be strange? Like, and Sam, you know,
Maybe,
like the
but
partnership with Nissan and the Titans
yeah,
is deep. You
yeah,
walk
it
through
is.
the employee parking lot, and there's
It's
just
Nissan
Nissans
Titan, Nissan
everywhere.
Titan, Nissan Titan, Nissan Titan.
Yeah, every like non-player employee is driving some type of Nissan.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like you said, it's very deep, but I mean, I do feel like there is a level of, hey, this is the new era. Like we're approaching a new era of Titans football, and the stadium is sort of symbolic of that, right? Like there's all this talk. Well, Titans have to get the roster ready for the new stadium. Titans have to be, build the new stadium with a new outdoor area, and it's going to change the landscape of downtown Nashville and what downtown Nashville looks like. Like there's a lot of discussion about this sort of thing, where I don't know if it would be that weird to be like, all right, we're in Nissan Stadium. We love Nissan. But we are looking ahead to blank stadium coming in 2027 that symbolizes the new start of Titans football. I think it would give fans something somewhat tangible to look forward to.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we will be there. You will be there, Sam, at Nissan Stadium for this major announcement. Once again, Titans set to make a major announcement regarding the new stadium, an exciting announcement during a press conference at 10 a.m. Central today. And then, Sam, after that, you're going to do Titans at 2, but not at 2. You're going to do it as soon as you possibly can
In
after
the
that
11, it'll
press
probably be
conference
in
is
the
over.
11 o'clock hour once I, get everything ready. It'll be live from Nissan Stadium. So yeah, we don't have a time yet, but keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yes, so keep your eyes open. That is what Sam will be doing for Titans in the late Titans brunch for stadium announcement
Yeah,
coming
there
up
you
later
go.
on. So, Sam, you also have a theory on who you think will be the starting 5 offensive linemen this
I got a little bit more than that.
more than a theory. Okay,
More
more than a
no,
theory.
more than the starting offensive line.
Okay, all right. So,
I've got a full picture here.
full picture. Sam has a full picture theory of the Titans offensive line in Jacksonville. But Aura is at one of our sponsors, and they can help protect your information online. It's so easy to sign up with Aura. I did this months ago, back in April, and ever since, they've continued to protect my information online from data brokers who are profiting from selling your information. Aura identified 30 data brokers that were profiting off of my information, and I didn't want that to be happening because I was getting spam calls, junk emails, mail just that goes immediately to the recycling bin in my mailbox at home. Aura stripped away my information from those data brokers in about 5 or 6 days. That's 30 data brokers gone in 5 or 6 days. You get a 2-week free trial with our sponsor Aura by using our link. That's aura.com/ATOZ. That's aura.com/ATOZ for a 2-week free trial.
Today's show is powered by BetMGM. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with BetMGM and get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. You place your first wager, and whatever that amount is, up to $1,500. If you lose, it goes back into your account in the form of a bonus bet. It's the best way to do sports gambling with the king of sportsbooks, BetMGM and BetMGM.com.
All right, so Sam, you have a full picture theory on what the Titans O-line is going to be. So let me have it. What is your official gut theory here?
All right. Well, first of all, we have to look at an injury report because this
Yes.
is relevant. Now, I guess it's a big injury report. So you got to, brace and try and focus in on the
Yeah, zoom
details.
in
But
a little bit.
you do
I gotta get my
see two
glasses out.
offensive linemen, Andre Dillard and Daniel Brunskill, both popping up on the injury report. Two guys who have been dealing with injuries that their situations slightly unknown. Andre Dillard, as you see there, has not practiced with his concussion Wednesday or Thursday, while Daniel Brunskill with the ankle has been limited. Now you've got Calvin Throckmorton, all-time name, in the Titans locker room. They
Fake
brought him
name.
in.
Fake name. Not a real
Yeah,
person.
fake.
He's a fake.
He's a distinguished British gentleman with a name like Calvin Throckmorton, but it's also kind of an offensive lineman name, so I like it. And so here is the vibe that I've gotten from watching practice, from talking to players, from gauging this injury situation. Daniel Brunskill, I expect to play on Sunday in Jacksonville. So I spoke to him one-on-one for a good bit a couple days ago. He told me that he's feeling great and, hoping to be back as soon as possible. He's been leading the Titans offensive line in a lot of drills. I expect Daniel Brunskill to play this weekend. Big for the Titans as far as getting back some sort of stability with their room. So Chris Hubbard at right tackle, Daniel Brunskill back at right guard, Aaron Brewer stays at center, Peter Skoronski's good to go at left tackle. Here's an interesting one. I thought Jalen Duncan seemed like the home run at left tackle because Mike Vrabel spoke on Monday and said Dylan Radins did not play up to the standard, and he singled out Jalen Duncan. But with the addition of Calvin Throckmorton and Daniel Brunskill being ready to go, Dylan Radins is going to start at left tackle once again. So Radins at left tackle, Jalen Duncan will serve as the swing tackle. That is something that he mentioned when I spoke to him along with Terry McCormick in the locker room earlier this week, is that he's been working out as a swing tackle, left side and right side, trying to prepare both. Calvin Throckmorton, while they were not willing to commit, Tim Kelly wouldn't commit to what he is versus guard, tackle, whatever, took all of his reps with the interior linemen yesterday at practice. So I believe Calvin Throckmorton is viewed as their backup guard, and their eighth and final active offensive lineman would be Corey Levin. In case the center goes down, you have somebody to snap the ball. So left to right, Radins, Skoronski, Brewer, Brunskill, Hubbard. Your backup three are Throckmorton with Duncan and Levin. That is the theory based off of all the context clues I've been able to gather this week about what this Titans O-line is going to look like.
So does Throckmorton have tackle experience? You think he was brought in to be a guard backup because
he does have tackle experience, but is viewed more. It was viewed more previously as a guard. He came into the league as a guard, has had some tackle experience, but the Titans do this thing where they go, all right, we're going tackles over here, and then guards and centers are in their own little huddle. So you got Chris Hubbard, Dylan Radins, you got Jalen Duncan, all of these guys, John Ojukwu, whatever, they're off on their own side doing tackle work, while Corey Levin, Aaron Brewer, Peter Skoronski, Daniel Brunskill, and Throckmorton are together doing their own separate side work. So his first practice, it's one practice, right? And Tim Kelly did say we have to see how he practices, and then we can make some future decisions there. But his first practice with the Titans did suggest that he's on the interior, to me at least.
Okay. All right. So,
and as Rashid says here, I do believe Andre Dillard will be out on Sunday.
Yeah. Right. And so where did my comment go here? Jason says, weren't the Panthers tackles garbage? So I actually heard from Ramon Foster this morning on 104.5 The Zone that he had talked to some people around, that knew of Calvin Throckmorton and knew kind of what he was, said that he was a better pass protector than he was a run blocker. And that's kind of been his MO since being in the league out of Oregon. And then I was also listening to Ramon say that the Panthers waived him from the roster. He'd started a lot. He wasn't playing great by any means. Nobody really playing great for the Panthers, but he wasn't playing great, but he was waived because the Panthers have some young offensive linemen that they're trying to keep, and that they had some people coming off of IR or coming back from injury, and they needed a roster spot, and they figured they would waive the veteran rather than waive one of the young
1
players.
and 9,
and their Panthers' plan was to bring him back on the practice squad as a veteran after he cleared waivers, but that obviously didn't happen because the Titans were able to claim him off waivers, and that's what they got. So I do think I get what you're saying there. That feels like a very logical way the Titans can roll this offensive line with the injuries. You also got Traylon Burks not practicing, Chance Campbell going to IR, like you had mentioned, and Anthony Kendall, who's not really been a factor, did not practice at all either. And some rest guys from veterans, veteran guys, they're turning 30 or older, and Derek, DeAndre Hopkins, and Danico Autry, but those guys should be fine. So, Sam, I did have something. I wanted to ask your theory, your opinion on something about the injury for the guy that's on this graphic. That's Sean Murphy-Bunting, a cornerback who has now missed one full game and parts of 2 games with a thumb injury. And so I was curious if there's any feeling or talk around of like what type of thumb injury is keeping a cornerback out of a game. And is Sean Murphy-Bunting going to play this week? First of all, do you expect him to play?
It's very tight. So I will say this off the bat: Sean Murphy-Bunting had thumb surgery. That was discovered from speaking to him in the locker room, that he had thumb surgery. It's obviously a minor surgery because he's practicing in a limited capacity. So, and as we've talked about in the past, do you need a thumb to play as a corner? I mean, it might help you catch the ball if it comes to you, but you can also like just get a fist and like block and whatever if you need to, like a club, as Bork says, put him in a club. I do think Sean Murphy-Bunting will play this week, but I feel far less confident about that than I do Daniel Brunskill or some of these other guys. But it is interesting. We know it was a thumb surgery. We know Mike Vrabel was a little coy with it early in the week when he was talking about Sean potentially practicing. Really wanted to see where he was at, but he's been out there, so that's a positive, I guess, in terms of where he's at as a player. Yeah, I'm sure you can't fully recover from a thumb injury as a football player until you've got months to rest. I mean, like, you're going to be using your thumbs.
And I feel like I didn't want to like jump into conclusions and be like, oh, Sean Murphy-Bunting's soft because he can't play with a thumb injury where he can backpedal and turn his hips and tackle and just put in a club like they did in the 90s and the 2000s and before and go out there and play, right? But, if I remember correctly, he had a thumb injury after Atlanta. He played Thursday night in Pittsburgh, re-injured the thumb, and then did not
very early re-injured the thumb.
Then he did not come back, and then he missed the Tampa game. So it sounds like the thumb surgery might have happened after Pittsburgh. And so I think it's totally fair for a player, regardless of the body part, to miss one game immediately after some type of surgery. Thumb, maybe not wisdom teeth. Well, depending on how bad the reaction might have been, right? So if you have a surgery, I think missing one game makes sense, especially if you had anesthesia, because you never know how that reaction is going to go. So having the surgery does make me feel better about that, because I was sitting there, in the game in Tampa, like, man, it's a thumb. Like, it's been 10 days. Like, what's going on? Like, why can't you just, take something, wrap it up, and go out there and play corner? You probably can't catch the football, but damn, bat it down or something, right? Like, so that makes
I'll be
more
interested.
sense to me.
I'll make a point of that actually when I'm in the locker room today. I'll see if I can talk to Sean real quick and be like, "Hey, you gonna play with the club? Like, let him see if that that's something that he's considered or what his approach to that is." I'll see if Mike Vrabel has an opinion on that as well.
Right. All right. A to Z Sports here live on this Friday morning. Let's go ahead and
we do have breaking news, Austin.
Yeah, I did see that. I did, and I had a feeling this was going to happen. So we've got some breaking news. We'll hit the breaking news here in a second. But first, Sam, tell everybody about the Bone and Joint Institute. Speaking of thumb injuries and surgery, but the Bone and Joint Institute.
The Bone and Joint Institute, they're the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Don't fumble on your recovery. Go to Bone and Joint Institute, located out in Franklin, with a state-of-the-art rehab facility to help you out. Everything is all under one roof at BJI. It's, from clinic to rehab to surgery to testing, all in one spot. You're not driving all over Middle Tennessee to go to your different appointments. That's obnoxious. You can just go to the one-stop shop at the Bone and Joint Institute for good care from the best doctors in the Middle Tennessee area. We have conversations with the Bone and Joint Institute all the time. And every time I come away thinking, wow, they really, really know their stuff. If I was going through an injury right now, this is the type of communication and understanding I'd like to have about my injury and about my treatment process. So if you need to recover, don't fumble on it. Go to the Bone and Joint Institute and schedule an appointment at boneandjointtn.org.
All right, let's go ahead and get to the breaking news here. And that is from Paul Kaharski, paulkaharski.com, who tweeted 3.5 minutes ago, Nissan to maintain naming rights to the Titans' new stadium. So that is what Paul reporting there. Paul going out here and ruining our content plan. But hey, props to, if you got news, you break it. So props to Paul for that. But the press conference coming up in just about an hour from now, where Sam, you'll go there and look.
Do we think this is the big announcement here?
There's got to be more to it, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not changing anything. Give it up. Hey,
yeah,
clap it up for the same exact stadium name. Huge, very exciting stuff from the Titans. Wow, get me fired up on a Friday morning.
So I feel like that can't be it. I feel like because of saying a presentation and multiple speakers, you can't just be like, staying the same. Same thing, guys. Let's keep it going, right? Like I can't do that.
I mean, I'm pumped. I might film this presentation. I'm so excited to watch like a hype video being like, you knew the old Titans. Now we're going to Nissan Stadium. Like same thing. There has to be more.
I see our guy Bonafide Bro, section 240, who watches us on YouTube times, says this presser really could have been an email.
God, bro. Like, I mean, what are we doing here? Like, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, this could have been an email, guys. Let's not we had to change our day because of this, and it's just an email.
This come 180'd my day here, and then you could have just emailed me this yesterday while I was at practice. Gosh. I mean, maybe it'll be Nissan Coliseum. Denise says Nissan Coliseum. If they go to Nissan Coliseum, at least we change a little bit here. But the Nissan
I
Dome,
agree with
something like that.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. So because of that womp news, let's go ahead and get to our bet of the week here with BetMGM. You can always win big with our bonus code at BetMGM. That's code ATOZ Sports. When you sign up, you put your first bet offer to the test. Go big on that first bet, because with code ATOZ Sports, you go big with the first bet. You get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you miss that bet right there. So check that out with BetMGM. Code ATOZ Sports to go big on your first bet offer. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification. Eligible requirements. First online real money wager. Only rewards you should know. Bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days. And for problem, get short. Call Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789. So Sam, I've got a bet for this game that I think is easy, and I'm shocked it's this easy and this low. I'm going to go with Jags tight end Evan Ingram over 44.5 receiving yards.
I love this. I love it. Love that bet.
Was that something you were going with?
I mean, I've had my eye on Evan Ingram. That was not the bet that I had singled out here. But
over 44.5 Evan Ingram receiving yards, and that's minus 115 right now.
I don't know why it's that low either. I mean, the Titans had problems with this dude all year, all game last year, especially when I was at the game, Nissan Stadium. He was just punishing them in every way possible. They didn't have somebody to match up with him then. I don't think they have anybody to match up with him now. I mean, who is going to guard Evan Ingram in pass coverage when he's got the size of a tight end that runs like a wide receiver, and the issues that they've had? And you already have enough speed on the perimeter with Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. So yeah, I love this over. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's your bet?
I'm actually kind of in the same boat. What did we see the Titans suck at against Tampa? What did the Jags love to do? Uh, who's the best running back in football at making people miss, especially out of the passing game? It's Travis Etienne. He has the number 2, according to Tim Kelly, number 2 average in the league in average yards after contact and expected yards over expected. His over under on passing yards is over 22 and a half. I think Jacksonville goes to the well and throws quite a few screen passes, especially after seeing Rachaad White go to the house on the same screen pass. If you've got a linebacker, got some of your nickels, trying to figure out what to do with Evan Ingram, anytime you bring pressure, it becomes a time that, you could get a very long screen pass to Travis Etienne. So I'm taking the over on Travis Etienne's receiving yards at 22 and a half.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. I thought about that one, but I went with Evan Ingram over 44 and a half. I think the Titans are going to be struggling with guarding tight ends and running backs the rest of the season with the linebackers they have in coverage. And also the ineffectiveness of the front to get pressure without blitzing means somebody sliding out late that's open that can just get, 8-9 yards of pop. And if their over underline is that low, I think there's a lot of value on both Travis Etienne over 25 and a half and Evan Ingram over 44 and a half there. Now, I want to get to something too. This is not a shade day. And Sam, I know we got to be quick with this, but Mr. Jones, look, this is not inaccurate. The Titans are 3-0 when Derrick Henry runs 20 times and 0-6 when he doesn't.
I think
accurate.
I will
right?
say two. Yeah, we have a couple things though. I think we're on the same page here of how we can address this. Number one, Mr. Jones. Again, you're correct. You run more when you're ahead. Point blank. When you are ahead and controlling a game, you run the football more. When you're in a football game, you run the football more. So games like Cleveland, games like this Pittsburgh game that you're trying to come from behind on, Tampa when you're down 2 scores early and the second half, your running game can't really exist. You're not going to run the ball 20 times. And number 2, just in general, like the Titans run Derrick Henry more when they have success running the ball. And when they are successful running the ball, they have a better chance to win. So the days like Tampa that Derrick is getting hit in the backfield and averaging like 1.8 yards per carry, they're not going to run it 20 times. And they're probably also losing the football game because they've got nowhere to actually establish the run. So while you are correct, and I do think there is some sort of an argument there, I think that stat doesn't show the full story.
It's not a correlation, right? It's the causation idea of this. And so Mr. Jones doubles down. Henry wears on a defense as the game goes. Eventually he breaks them. I do agree. Yes, but like missing very important context. And so I only bring this up because I cannot stand it. People.
Go ahead.
I see people be like, well, yeah, Derrick Henry only had 11 carries or 14 carries against Baltimore. What happened? Like, well, when you're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter,
I'd be dogging them if they handed the ball off to Henry. I was. They ran the ball with Henry too much late in that game, if you ask me. They got conservative with it. It's just not something that you can justify. And like the idea of like, yeah, Derrick Henry leans on the defense. He puts them on their heels, and then eventually he breaks one. But you need to establish that early on. You can't try and like lean on and break a defense late in the game when you're behind. That's not how that works.
Totally. All right. So Sam, let's go ahead and get our good news to end the week, because you got to get over to Nissan Stadium for what hopefully isn't just the Nissan Stadium naming rights press conference that you'll snooze through. But let's go ahead and get to Ain't That Good News. Drop your good news in the chat. Let's share good news before we head to our weekend. Let's get it going. Shout out to our friends Wilson County Hyundai. Go see Payne Bone and his team in Lebanon to make them a part of your new car buying process, or online for what they have in stock and what they have to offer at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Good news to send in the chat. So hopefully there is more to this press conference than just the email that could have been sent about Nissan Stadium. But Sam, I'll send you to the chat for good news to get us going.
Yeah, Trey comes in early, says, coming to Nashville this weekend for a Friendsgiving with good old Jonathan Brown. Friendsgivings are such an underrated Thanksgiving tradition, Austin.
Yeah, and Jonathan Brown, underrated high school cornerback who was sneaky dirty and would continuously punch the young sophomore receiver under his shoulder pads in the ribs.
There we go.
I'm not holding on to anything.
Is
I'm
that
not holding
personal
on to
experience
anything.
there?
None, whatever. I mean, but God, like what physical, strong hands corner that just would just beat me up in practice just because he could.
All right. How about it? Yeah, I mean,
You
I
can
love
tell
a good
JB
I love a good Friendsgiving. People don't do them enough. They're a great time.
I don't have time. I don't have
I've
time for
got
Friendsgiving.
just got a lot of
Too
thoughts.
busy.
I feel like most people, your loved ones are like almost friends as much as they are family. Like especially when you start talking about it like extended family. Like you talk to your friends and your friends are more prominent in your life, at least for me. And so like it would be cool to be like, oh, we're gonna do a Thanksgiving, but with the friend group. That's nice. Uh Jeff's good news. Michigan fans are starting to realize how much trouble they're in after Harbaugh and Michigan randomly decided to stop fighting and took the Big Ten punishment. Look, hey, John Harbaugh, it doesn't have to be this hard. You can just come to the NFL and coach Caleb Williams for the team that you used to play quarterback for. Like, why deal with the NCAA? You're better than this, John. You can come cheat for the Bears.
Jim.
Oh,
You
my
said
bad.
John.
No, yeah. Well, Jim. I'll take John. I'll take one of them. I don't care. Let's see. Matt says, good news. Michigan will be the first team to do 1,000 wins tomorrow. So he comes with a little bit of a counterpoint. Ashley says, Drake dropped 5 songs. He's back to his old ways, which is great news. I might have to get that going in the car on the way to Nissan Stadium and see, we got old Drake back. Don't get Austin started on Drake. He hates Drake. He's a hater. The chat hates Drake. I like Drake, Ashley. So I'm with you there.
I mean, back to his old ways means better quality. Just that was my point.
Sure. Let's see. We got Denise is off all of next week, which is good news. That's awesome for Thanksgiving. That's like need some more of that. Nicholas says good news is that Henry has a good past rushing against Jacksonville. Titans need it this week. Demetrius is with Ashley. Drake released new music that is better than his last album. I'm definitely checking this out now that I got 2 people telling me to check it out. So, Austin, what is your good news this week? You got something? I feel like you always got some sort of like really good
house
news.
Is done. The house is done.
Done?
It's done.
I thought it had to be done next week.
Well, yeah, the move is next week. The movers are coming next week, but the house is done. And so that means we get to start pre-moving this weekend. So, I saw Trey invited us to Friendsgiving for Vols and UGA. I will be not watching the Vols get absolutely shellacked on CBS that have that CBS anxiety. I will be doing a lot of moving for ourselves on Saturday and Sunday. And so, yes, the house is done. Excited about it. Looks great. Pumped about getting everything in there. So we try to make it as easy as possible. Get as much done as we can without the movers this weekend. So next week we can enjoy Thanksgiving and the movers on Friday can send us home. So that's my good news.
That is very good news. I mean, that's huge for you. My good news does not come anywhere close to that. I mean, my good news is number one.
So should you have gone first?
No, I don't know. Hey, we're not comparing here. It's the little things sometimes. And this was a little thing for me that I enjoyed was one I got back out on the softball field yesterday, Austin, and that felt awesome. I mean, I hadn't played in a long time, and it was just good to get back out there, take a couple hacks. It was nice. And then my other piece of good news, this is just like a personal thing, I guess. I'm tomorrow night, I'm going to go see the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The new Hunger Games movie is out, and I'm a big Hunger Games fan. I'm pumped up about it.
I had no idea there was one coming out. I don't see any movie previews.
It's a prequel. It is a prequel.
I know what's happening.
Yeah, it's a like the background of President Snow and stuff. So I
did hear about that.
Been waiting on this movie for a while. Kenneth says, you play slow pitch, Sam, enter the Nashville Spiders draft tournament. I'm down. I don't know what that is, but I'm down. I love slow pitch softball. It's my sport now. A former baseball guy that doesn't have anything to put like his like competitive side into. It's just like weightlifting and trying to play slow pitch softball and relive the glory days. That's all it is. So I'm in. Let me know. Give me info about it. I don't know what it is.
Here's a no context super chat for today. Guy literally got drafted and played without a hand. Make it make sense.
No, he's talking about. I know exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about.
Griffin.
Yeah, true.
Griffin.
About SMB.
No, I know, but it's just funny because I never saw this come in or have that conversation. So just out of context, guy got drafted without a hand and played. So I think that's a little bit different than having like surgery that SMB had and then having to come in and like play immediately after the surgery. Anyway, that'll be it for us today. So go ahead.
Steven says I should try pitching. I did it one time, Steven, and I was pitching slow pitch to former MLB first base, Major League Baseball, like 10-year veteran first baseman Garrett Jones, who had like 160 career home runs or something, former Braves draft pick. And I was like very worried because we didn't have a screen. If I had a screen, I'd feel a little bit better. We had no screen. And I'm like, this is how I die, is a line drive from Garrett Jones and slow pitch softball. So it wasn't my favorite. I'd rather be.
I think Garrett Jones is probably talented enough to put the baseball not in your face.
Oh, well, he put it like 6 rows or like into the parking lot every time. I mean, it was just impossible to get him out.
Yeah.
But
that's a guy that aims the softball when he hits it. Like he knows exactly where he wants to put it. Like he's throwing it.
For sure. So,
all right. That is all we've got for today. Sam, you got to hustle over to Nissan Stadium for this announcement, this major announcement, and you will have a Titans at 2 edition right after this press conference. So get ready for that on these same channels on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So Sam will be there at the stadium after the press conference to go over hopefully more info than just the naming rights. But also hit the like button on the way out the door. Like before you go. We need more likes on the show on Facebook and YouTube. And we'll see you guys on Sunday. Sam and Jack have game day. I'll see you guys on a Monday. Appreciate it as always.